Today we're going to talk about emotional eating. Welcome to Emotional Eating, Steps You Can Take to Overcome. My name is Melissa Risk, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I work for First Health Bariatric Program as the behavioral health coach, and you can reach me at 910-235-2801. That's my direct line. If you need our patient navigators, you can reach them at 910-295-0884 or 0887. Thank you so much for joining. So what is emotional eating? It's seeking food and eating in response to both negative or positive emotions and feelings, such as joy, love, happiness, acknowledgement, gratitude, and pride, or negative feelings, sadness, stress, anger, loneliness, boredom, or frustration. The perceived notion is that if I eat, I will feel better or positive. Some examples of positive feelings that can be associated with emotional eating include the following. It's Friday, let's have pizza, when we feel deserving of a reward. My son just graduated, cake for all, when we feel proud. I got a raise, let's go out to eat, feeling accomplished. It's my birthday, I want chocolate cake with buttercream icing, feel like celebrating. Friends are visiting us, let's go out for ice cream, feeling connected with others through food. Negative feelings that might impact emotional eating include the following. My supervisor just set a hard deadline. I want some chips, when we might feel pressured. My friend just no-showed me for our walk. I'm going out for a shake instead, when you might feel disappointed. I am so mad at so-and-so for doing so-and-so. I'm ordering pizza, when we feel angry. Or, I'm bored. What's in this pantry to keep me busy or occupied? Obviously feeling bored. There's a party and I don't want everyone to see me because I don't feel good right now. The mac and cheese really sounds perfect. Feeling down. It's really important to uncover your patterns when trying to overcome emotional eating. Each one of us has unique patterns of behavior, and we certainly can't change anything that we don't know about. So generating insights about what we're doing is the first step to making changes. Learning more about yourself, building awareness about your emotional eating triggers and patterns is really a first step to changing behavior in support of your goals to be healthier and lose weight. So how do I do this? Build personal insight by tracking your food intake and journaling your feelings. You can document what you eat each day, when you eat, how much you eat, and why you're eating. You can use the First Health Bariatric Program Nutrition and Lifestyle Journal, which includes a nice, well-rounded daily snapshot of food intake, your feelings, and other important lifestyle factors such as sleep, exercise, stress, relationships. I'm going to attach that to the end of this PowerPoint so you can print those out and start using them to help you on your journey to overcome this difficult challenge that many of us experience. You can either use the handwritten journal or you can access a phone application of your choice. Verytastic, MyFitnessPal, there's many apps out there that you can look into. You can keep your app intake on your phone and then keep a separate handwritten journal to monitor feelings in your relationship with food. It's your choice. Pick whatever works for you or that is best. So how do I do this? You can build personal insight by tracking your food intake and journaling your feelings. Document what you eat each day, when you eat, how much you eat, and why. You can use the First Health Bariatric Program Nutrition and Lifestyle Journal, which includes a daily snapshot of your food intake, your feelings, and other important lifestyle factors like sleep, exercise, stress, relationships. Or you can access a phone application of your choosing, such as Verytastic, MyFitnessPal, Lose It. It just depends what your personal preference is. And you can write your food intake in your application and then keep a separate handwritten journal to monitor feelings and your relationship with food. It's really your choice. Pick whatever works for you. Tracking is associated with weight loss per the research studies, so we really at First Health want you to do what is proven to work, and we encourage you to track, although it can be cumbersome at times, as we understand that. Tracking is a self-monitoring tool, so it brings what we're eating to the forefront of our consciousness, and when we track, it helps us really be mindful about what we're eating and how much and why. We're far less likely to grab the 3 donut holes in the break room and eat them if we know we have to write it down. We are less likely to mindlessly eat, which helps us meet our goals. Connecting the dots is really important on our journey. We want to track our food and journal our feelings and figure out our relationship with food as a critical part of our weight loss journey. It's often an overlooked piece of the puzzle. If you look at past history of dieting for yourself or friends you've known, what takes people off course usually is some kind of stressor or event, such as a change in job, living arrangement, health problem, a holiday, a relationship, or a family issue. But addressing feelings and examining your coping strategies is really important and related to your success. Once you recognize your patterns, then you can take action to cope and respond in a way that will be more helpful in reaching your goals. So to overcome emotional eating, we want our feelings and responses to match up. If you're tired, go to bed. If you're lonely, reach out to someone. If you're sad, engage in an activity that's pleasing or that brings you joy. If bored, find something productive to do. If mad or angry, stop. Remove yourself from the environment. Breathe. Communicate your feelings using assertive communication. We want to work in this process to make sure that we remove food as a coping strategy in our life. To overcome emotional eating, we have to really not turn to food as a mechanism to feel better, provide us comfort, happiness, relief, company, or give us something to do. Eating is not our solution that effectively manages or addresses our feelings. So how do I make the shift? Once I have the insight as to my triggers and I understand that I want my responses to equate with my feelings and best meet my own needs, how do we move forward? Well, a very practical way to do this is to create a list of non-food related coping, self-care ideas or activities that can help you manage common feelings. You want to make this list very long and diverse. You want to post it somewhere publicly in your home, such as the refrigerator, on a whiteboard, maybe on the kitchen table, or anywhere where you're circulating around the house and it's easily available to you visually, because you want to be reminded that this difficult pattern you're overcoming is you're trying to break this pattern. So we need as much help and support as we can get, and visual tools are usually very useful. Get your family involved. Encourage members to add their ideas so you can rally support in your family for healthy coping together. And this can really increase your connectedness as a family group. So this pattern might have very deep roots for many of us in childhood, so it's really going to take some time, some insight and persistence, as well as support to overcome it. But it is possible. So your list is not limited, but just to share some ideas, and I recommend just brainstorming about as many ideas as you can, but here's an example list. Take a walk, call a friend, play with your dog or cat, crochet, knit, engage in adult coloring, meal prep, read, paint, feed the birds, watch a movie, exercise, organize a drawer or closet, pull weeds, water your plants, go fishing, work on a home improvement project, listen to a motivating podcast, spend time in nature, journal, take a bath or a shower, meal plan, research healthy recipes to try, Daydream about what it will be like when you reach your goal. Meditate, clean something, hug your family, play a game, sew, ride your bike, window shop, take a drive. What's on your list? The possibilities are only limited by your creativity. Another aspect to examine in overcoming emotional eating is to know the difference between physical and emotional hunger. This is really important on your journey to overcome. You can use this information to determine how you should respond to your hunger cues. For example, if you're physically hungry, then eat, of course, per your nutrition guidelines. If you are emotionally hungry, then do not eat, because we're trying to break the pattern of emotional eating. So if you recognize that, you want to go to your non-food relating coping list and engage in one of the items on your list that best meets the emotion that you're experiencing at the time. You will know when you are physically hungry when your hunger grows slowly, it's satisfied by food, your hunger goes away after eating, you feel better after eating, and a period of time has elapsed since you last ate. On the other hand, emotional hunger will come on suddenly. The craving will be for a particular food, cakes, chips, for example. You're still hungry after eating. You're not satisfied after eating. You feel worse, not better. Perhaps you might feel down or dejected after eating in response to emotional hunger and feeling like I blew it, which can lead to what? More emotional eating at times. So initially, you'll also might feel positive when you first start to eat the desired food, but it's only because glucose is rising and pleasure centers in your brain are being turned on. So we know that this doesn't last. I wanted to offer you some of the biochemical brain chemistry impacts that are at play with emotional eating. So when we're stressed, our sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system, gets turned on. So the brain is saying, get ready for danger. And that initiates our desire for carbohydrates, which is a food that can be easily converted to glucose and used for energy. Thus, when we're emotionally eating, we're not normally going for vegetables or typically, quote, healthy foods. It's usually fast-acting carbohydrates, sugars, sweets, donuts, cake, cookies, ice cream. When our sympathetic nervous system is turned on, it overpowers the prefrontal cortex, which is our reasonable mind. It's the part that usually weighs the pros and cons, delays gratification. So our decision-making abilities are impacted. So in summary, there's just complex chemical processes that are at play that affect our desire for certain foods. So we really must work hard to address stress and feelings in order to manage them. So I wanted to review some of the brain chemistry or the biochemical factors that are at play with emotional eating. When stressed, our sympathetic nervous system or the fight or flight system gets turned on. So the brain is saying, get ready for danger, which initiates our desire for carbohydrates, a food that could easily be converted to glucose and used for energy. So we often go for, when we're emotional eating, for fast-acting carbs, such as sugars and sweets, okay? Not usually, quote, healthy foods like carrot sticks and celery and things of that nature. When the sympathetic nervous system is turned on, it overpowers the prefrontal cortex, which is the area in the brain that governs our impulse control. It's our reasonable mind, the one that weighs the pros and cons and delays gratification. Therefore, you could see how our decision-making abilities get impacted. So just to let you know that there's complex chemical processes at play that affect why we have certain compulsions for food. No, that's the wrong word. I wanted to share some of the biochemistry or the brain chemistry that is affecting our food choices. So when we're stressed, our sympathetic nervous system or the fight or flight gets turned on, and this is when the brain's saying, get ready for danger. It initiates our desire for carbohydrates, which is a food that can be easily converted to glucose and used for energy. So it's not often that when we're emotionally eating or stressed that we're desiring things like carrot sticks and celery. We choose usually rich, dense carbohydrates. When the sympathetic nervous system is turned on, it overpowers the prefrontal cortex, which is an area of our brain that governs impulse control. It's our reasonable mind, the one that weighs the pros and cons and delays our gratification. Therefore, you can see how our decision-making abilities are impacted. And it's important to look at these chemical processes so that you understand the relationship between stress and our feelings and what we're eating. When we have a desire to emotionally eat or having emotional hunger, it's really a symptom that something else is going on. So when we notice this, we want to ask ourselves with open curiosity, what's going on with me? We want to pause and figure out why we're wanting that particular food at a particular time. And this is so valuable for your journaling and tracking so that you can figure out these patterns. We really want to respond with a non-food related behavior that's appropriate to your feelings and your mood and moves you closer to your goal of weight loss and improved health. The outcome of emotional eating is typically very negative, and it blocks us from our goals and our vision of ourselves. So it's really worthy of trying to overcome this. And most of us experience it, so it's nothing to feel ashamed about or guilty about. Additional tools include planned structured eating through meal planning and preparation. It's a really great way to manage your food intake because when things are planned and structured, we're just more likely to stick with a program. Having your meals ready, sometimes people put them in a cooler or a food bag, makes it less likely that you'll be vulnerable to emotional eating because when we know our next meal or snack is around the corner, we will usually choose that. Having it prepared and accessible to you is very important. Don't skip meals. We don't recommend this because it usually leads to overeating and may trigger emotional eating. For example, if you feel deprived, you might overindulge. Additionally, controlling your environment. We are way less likely to eat tempting items if they're not in our homes. Really make a commitment to yourself and an agreement with your family that you're not going to bring tempting foods into the home because doing so can be a form of self-sabotage. Additional tools for you to use in overcoming emotional eating include planning your meals and structure your eating through meal planning and prep. We're more likely to stick with the program if we have that in place. This can also deter emotional eating as you're more likely to stay on track if you know exactly what you're eating every day and you have it readily available to you. The next important component is not skipping meals, which often leads to overeating. You could feel deprived, like I haven't had lunch today, and then you kind of try to make up for it later in the day. So we want to avoid that. Additionally, controlling your environment is very helpful. So we are a lot less likely to eat cookies, chips, and ice cream if those foods are not in our house. So commit to not bringing tempting foods into your home. Communicate your needs and desires with your family members and letting them know what your plan is. If we do bring those foods into the house, it can really be a form of self-sabotage and really impede us from meeting our goals. So some additional tools in helping you overcome emotional eating include planned, structured eating through meal planning and preparation. It's a great way to really manage your intake so that you're staying on track. Planned, structured eating can deter emotional eating because you're more likely to stay on track if you know what you're eating every day and you have it prepared and it's with you and accessible. Don't skip meals. This leads to overeating and may trigger emotional eating. For example, if we haven't had anything since breakfast at 6 a.m. and it's 3 p.m., we're heading home, we might feel deprived. So what's going to happen? We're going to overindulge, perhaps, and want to avoid that at all costs. Controlling your environment. We are way less likely to eat cookies, chips, and ice cream if those foods are not in our home. So commit to not bringing tempting foods into your home, because doing so can really be a form of self-sabotage. Additional ideas for managing emotional eating include moving your body to help increase dopamine and serotonin without food. Exercise such as walking, swimming, strength training, biking, elliptical, or whatever your favorite activity is can really help manage feelings. Time in nature, just 20 minutes a day, is shown to decrease stress hormones and can help you manage emotions in a positive way. So if you love to garden or walk your dog, just get out there in nature outside, feed the birds, whatever it is that you enjoy, make time in nature to manage emotions in a healthy way. Also including some form of relaxation strategies on your non-food coping list is a great idea, such as deep breathing, meditation, and yoga. Those are wonderful ideas that you can use for sleep or any time in your day when you just need a little bit of break. YouTube, Virtual Hope Box, Calm, Breathe. There's a multitude of applications on your cell phone that you can use, or if you need additional tools, please don't hesitate to call us. Access support to help foster long-term change. This is hard. With support, we can accomplish many things. More ideas to share include moving your body to help increase dopamine and serotonin, which is our feel-good chemicals in our brain, without food. So exercising such as walking, swimming, strength training, skiing, elliptical trainer, whatever you enjoy can help manage feelings. Time in nature, just 20 minutes a day, is shown to decrease stress hormones and can help you manage your emotions in a positive way. So if you enjoy the outdoors, by all means take advantage of this to help manage stress. Include some form of relaxation strategies on your non-food coping list, such as deep breathing, meditation, or yoga. Some resources available to you will be guided meditations on YouTube. You can use the Virtual Hope Box application on your phones, Calm, Breathe, and many, many other applications that are available. If you have any questions, you can ask us, and we'll be happy to provide you a list. Also accessing support to help foster long-term change. This is hard, but with support we can accomplish many things. I wanted to share with you a few valuable resources that we have that are offered to you as part of our program. Way to Focus is our Closed for Self-Bariatric Program Facebook group and offers information and support with others who share your journey. Bariatric program support groups are offered twice a month. We have the peer support group on the fourth Monday of each month at 6 p.m. on Zoom at this current time, and the staff-led support group on the second Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. also on Zoom. We know from research that people who participate in support groups have better outcomes, so we encourage you to engage on that. If there's any topics that you would like to see discussed, please don't hesitate to let us know. Additionally, your bariatric program staff is available to you. Melissa Herman is our dietitian, and again, my name is Melissa Risk, and I'm the behavioral health coach. I wanted to share some of the resources that are available to you on your journey. There is Way to Focus, which is our Closed First Health Bariatric Program Facebook group, and it's offered for information and support with others on your journey. We have the Bariatric Program support groups, and those are offered twice a month. The peer support groups on the fourth Monday of each month at 6 p.m. on Zoom, and the staff-led support group is on the second Thursday of each month, also at 6 p.m. in the Zoom format. We know that Patients who participate in groups have better outcomes per the literature. So we encourage you to do that. It's wonderful to have the fellowship, problem solving, make connections with others who share your journey. In addition, your bariatric program staff is available for coaching. There's Melissa Herman, the dietitian, and I'm Melissa Risk, the behavioral health coach, and our numbers are listed on the slides, and my direct number is listed on the cover sheet. The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Well said by Oprah Winfrey. And in closing, I just wanted to share that with you and let you know that we are on your side for you to make your dreams come true. We thank you so much for your attention, and if there's anything that we can do to make your journey easier or to have you feel more informed or supported, don't hesitate to ask us. Appreciate it.